George Huftelin from ASNI, and we were with Peterson yesterday at Peterson Engineering, and a gentleman, Greg Smye-Rumsby, came by. And I don't remember how we started talking, Greg. Do you remember how
I just bump into people and start chatting away.
We started talking about measurements and what was British and what was metric and what was English.
The imperial system that you're using for your pipes on your lovely holders.
Oh, that's how we started talking.
And I was saying, do you have it in the UK? And they go, oh no, you're all metric and everything. And I was saying, the metric system's quite interesting. John Wilkins, back in 1668, came up with the idea of the metric system. And of course, that was embraced by the French. And back in 1884, when there was that big sort of conference in Washington to do with where should the prime meridian of the Earth be, and it was decided that it would be the Greenwich meridian that would become the prime meridian of the Earth. And of course, we actually had in the UK an ally in the United States. It was your beautiful President Chester Arthur. Everybody's heard of him. He became incumbent because of an assassination, but he had an advisor called Charles Dowd, who was trying to set up the railway system. And of course, you've got a country which is really big, and we've got a country that's really tiny, and as a result, we only need one time zone. But in the United States, it was decided to divide it up. Now, that wasn't the first time that idea was set forth, because it was a chap called William Allen, who was going to use the time zones based on the start position of a train in a station and the end position, but that really wasn't going to work. And when Charles Dowd, I think the story goes, that he was asked by the President, where did you set your zero meridian? And of course he said London and not Paris. So in a way, we have to thank the Americans for the Greenwich Meridian at the Royal Observatory in London. There we go, hooray! And everything else. But the metric system wasn't that of the French, so hopefully that's solved that problem. But around about 1668.
Wow. And you just told us, what is a meter? You came and asked me.
A meter is an interesting thing. You ask people, what is a meter? They say, isn't it something to do with wavelengths? That's the refinement. But actually, what is a meter? It's the distance between the pole of the Earth right the way down to the equator. And that's 1/1,000,000th of that distance. But the French wanted to embrace it as their own, and they suggested it would have to pass through the Observatoire de Paris. So the next time you're talking about the metric system and the meter, it's not very human, it's more geo-based, and that's why we tend to prefer feet and inches to measure ourselves.
So Greg, you've never gone out there actually with a tape measure?
No, I've never been out there with a tape measure. Imagine me on my hands and knees.
Yes, I am, actually.
It would take a long, long time. And I drown as well in the process.
That's true. Well, thank you, Greg. It was great talking to you. Great friends you meet here at NEAF. And just to give you another behind-the-scenes weirdness at NEAF.